The thing that is in room 101 is the worst thing in the world.
Jeremy Beadle.
Terry Wogan.
Birdie Song.
People like Annika Rice. Jeremy Beadle.
Birmingham.
Beatles About.
Des O'Connor.
Anything with Cilla Black.
Essex.
I want my MTV.
Jeremy Beadle.
Room 101 is that huge storeroom deep in the bowels of the BBC which houses the collective fears of a nation. Everything terrifying, tiresome, or just plain tacky is in there, from Barry Took to an album of Noel's funny phone calls. A guest will try and persuade me, Nick Hancock, to include a few of their own nightmare people, places or pop songs in the Room 101 collection. This music and the subsequent suggestions are the choice of this week's guest, whose line is it anyways answered to Give Us a Clue's Eunice Stubbs, Paul Merton. Hello, Paul.
Hello there.
I understand you have a hangover today.
Yes, I do. I had a little bit too much lager last night.
Really? That's very naughty, isn't it?
Yes, I blame it on the alcohol.
Paul, what was that?
Elizabethan Serenade. It was a hit in the early 60s, and I remember...
It was a hit?
It was a hit, yeah. I'm not sure that version was. That's a sort of Hammond organ version.
Yes, I can tell you that was Klaus Wunderlich.
Oh, yes.
Off the album Mr. Hammond. A title he certainly deserved, I think.
Indeed. Yes, and I remember walking through a park, and I just asked my mother for an ice cream. She said, no, you can't have an ice cream. And I remember crying. And I remember that hearing this on a portable radio walking past, and whenever I hear it, it reminds me of the fact that life isn't what it should be. And I always associate that intense feeling of disappointment and depression with that particular tune.
And rejection, really.
And rejection
and
as well.
And sadness and tragedy. And,
yeah.
And it's really sort of perhaps your theme tune, is it?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's been many moments in my life where Elizabethan Serenade would be the perfect backing music.
Really?
Yeah.
And what sort of ice cream was it you were after?
It was a vanilla ice cream.
Really? So
yeah,
if
vanilla
any...
cornet, in fact.
Yeah. If any listeners have...
It wouldn't be the same.
We couldn't get one sent in?
No. There was one ice cream that I wanted, and I should have had it, and it was in 1963.
63. So that's Elizabethan Serenade, a tragic tune for you. I wonder if we could hear a little bit more of that, just to refresh your memory. No ice cream for you, Paul.
Yes.
That's the sort of feeling.
Yeah, it conjures it up.
Well, I think that's fair enough. I think on those grounds, Klaus Wunderlich, Mr. Hammond and his version of Elizabethan Serenade, and indeed all versions of Elizabethan Serenade, can be condemned to Room 101. And we might get just a little snatch of what's in there as we open the door.
Our only problem is that in London people tend to ignore us because they see film crews on every pavement every day. When you go out...
And a few tasters there of what's actually in Room 101. Did you spot?
Sounds horrible.
Did you spot what that was?
It was Terry Jack's Season in the Sun.
Of course it was, yes. I was the black sheep of the family.
Yes, that's right.
And who was that we heard speaking there?
I'm not quite sure.
It was Esther.
Was it?
Lovely, lovely, darling, sweet Esther, who happens to live in Room 101, actually, and quite rightly so. Now, here's an extract from a film you understandably have an aversion to. Now, that's a difficult one for you.
Yes, I've no idea what that is.
Well, we hear it again. Obviously, laughter's not something you hear very often, Paul.
No. What is that?
Well, let's hear something a little bit different from the same thing.
Oh, dear.
Having some difficulty, old man? Where have you been? We didn't pass you. We've just been enjoying a delicious and most leisurely lunch. Do you think that old Croc's packed it in for good?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Don't you think Wendy ought to come with us? I should hate it to miss the parade.
Oh, yes.
I must say that Paul actually looks like he's in a great deal of physical pain listening to that.
Yes, that's very bad. I'm sure Kenneth More was a marvellous man, but that's from Genevieve.
Yeah.
And his performance in Genevieve is so bad and annoying. He sort of plays a sort of jovial, well, as that laugh indicates, this jovial sort of over-the-top character who, like, if he came into your house, you'd just kill him.